Small communities north of Morrilton, headed towards Springfield, small community there, south of Center Ridge, up in the northern part of the county. And I'll put this into motion for you and just the last few frames, and you can see, I think this is just, it's had a lot of good rotation with it. And by good rotation, I mean bad rotation, because it's pretty pronounced right there. Very strong winds coming in toward the radar site, which is out of Little Rock. Let's see what the debris product looks like. And it certainly looks like it there as it goes off to the north of Morrilton. A number of folks live in that central part of Conway County, and if you're in the path of this, please get into that lowest floor of your house. It will eventually move over toward Greenbrier and points just to the north of there. Now, that's a long way out. James just told you that it's going to be a while before that happens, but keep a very wary eye and leave it right here, because it'll either continue, and we'll be on the air with this as long as it's a tornado-warned storm, or we'll show you why it's not a tornado-warned storm anymore. But I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon. And there's just a lot of wind energy right there, the bright pinks and the bright reds coming together. And I think I'd be shocked if, at least at some point along this storm's line, that it didn't produce a tornado with the funnel down to the ground. What's going on up north of there? I don't think there's much of a hail threat with this, James, as the storm. Yeah, there is a hail core up to the north of this, but the hail core with the storm down by Danville, south of Danville, is much, much greater. That may eventually be the storm that really gets going.
Yeah, it's all by itself, and it does have quite a hail core on it there south of Danville. Also, that classic supercell presentation, so I would venture to think that this one may try to rotate as well, and that would put it on a track that is going to be closer to the metro area. So I do want to point out within this between Briggsville and Danville, and that is moving towards the east. So that's what we're watching out in Yell County. What we're watching closer to, to Faulkner County is the tornado-warned storm, and it's in Conway County. What we're watching closer to Faulkner County is the tornado-warned storm, and it's in Conway County that we are keeping a close eye on. I'm going to be looking, Barry, I've lost internet connection over here, so I'm going to have to get that back up. But again, just a strong area of rotation. Barry, we have yet to hear a report of a confirmed tornado, and that's some good news.
Yeah, we haven't. And the peak wind gust at Russellville was 42 miles per hour. So the storm may not have, the worst part of the storm, in all likelihood, didn't go right by the Russellville airport, but it was fairly close to there. Hopefully there was nothing on the ground as that happened, but that is the storm. That storm right there just has a much better presentation, a more classic presentation if you're looking for a tornado-warned storm than either of the other two so far. The one up to the north, large area of rainfall right now. There's wind, rain. If you look to the northwest right now, I'm sure the sky is lit up with the lightning from these storms. And then the one that's in Yell County right now, we're going to watch it because it's definitely a supercell. There's no question about that, meaning that it is out by itself. The structure of it has the hail core to the north and then some rotation starting to try to develop down to the south. Hopefully this storm won't be in quite as conducive an area as this storm. And we know that this one's in a very conducive area for rotation. Hopefully this storm is not that, but we're wary of it right now. I'll tell you what, the modeling, our guidance today showed this area right through here as being an area where we needed to watch for a big supercell and for rotating winds. And, you know, that's the state of where we are in weather right now, that it could foretell that hours in advance of it actually happening. So we continue to watch the velocity data along with this. It moves now to the southeast of Hattieville. Small community of Springfield, which is south of Center Ridge. You would be next in line. Get into the safe spot in your house along the highway there between Center Ridge and Morrilton that winds down through. If you live along that highway, that storm is right on top of you right now. And that is highway, it says 59 in Conway County. But that is the storm that is rotating certainly more than any other storm, and all the south winds are coming right up into it. It has no competition. It kind of ate that northern storm, and this southern end of this just kind of continues to really sustain itself. Now, even though the sun has gone down, there's still plenty of energy for these storms. There's a lot of warmth, a lot of humidity, and so I don't think we're going to see the end of this storm anytime soon. But hopefully something will happen. It'll move into an area that's maybe not quite as conducive for tornado development, or a little bit rain-cooled, although I don't see that happening immediately. And eventually there will be an end to this rotation, and hopefully that comes soon. James?
All right, this is going to be approaching Cypress Valley and Birdtown here very soon, and I'm going to call out a few of the locations that are along this area. Of course, right now the area of rotation is just passed over Wesley Chapel, and I'll say passed over. At any point, I think this storm could get its act together and put down a tornado. Right now, and so far tonight, it appears we've had a lot of rotation above the ground. And so it looks like we still don't have confirmation of any tornado that's been on the ground. So that is helpful. As we look at the area that, and I'm just reading off what the Weather Service is saying, Birdtown, Cypress Valley, Bethlehem, all stay in your safe place. Springfield, technically outside of the tornado warning polygon in Conway County, go ahead and get in your tornado safe spot. The Weather Service also letting us know that the rotation out in Yell County is strengthening. So these are the two storms that we're going to have to watch. And Barry, it's just something that you never, ever want to see, much less in late May. We've got two supercells all out by themselves, plenty of heat and humidity to sustain the storms. The only thing that can get in the way is some mid-level warm air, the cap, which can kind of squash things. But sometimes these storms that get sustained can go well into the evening. We saw it in Oklahoma the other night. So we're going to be watching this storm that comes out of Yell County that moves into Perry County, Perryville. I want you guys to pay close attention to that one. If you're in Greenbrier or Damascus, right along that corridor, Highway 65, look towards the west and pay close attention to this storm. It's been tornado warned since it was to the west of Russellville. Both areas of rotation are concerning. You look at the storm down in Yell County, and it's still weakly rotating there, but it's not strong enough to warrant a tornado warning. But I bet we're starting to see some signs, if you were underneath the storm, that it is at least trying to rotate. The storm that is approaching the eastern section of Conway County, still looking at very strong rotation, very strong inflow, and some broad rotation there approaching Highway 9, and that is approaching Cypress Valley right there. And eventually, we're going to be getting towards the Faulkner and Conway County line. I think I'm a little bit more encouraged with this last scan because it is so broad, though. I do think it just could at any moment, this could ramp up and produce a tornado. You don't have a tornado until you do. So take your precautions. Cypress Valley off Johnson Drive, Tucker Mountain Road, Dudham Lane, and over towards the east, Bethlehem. Just go into the interior room of your house, the lowest floor. If you don't have a storm cellar, these are great options to protect yourself from a tornado. Hopefully we don't have anything. Hopefully this falls apart and we can send you back to regular programming, but this is something that deserves your attention tonight, and this is really how we're kicking off what's going to be a long stretch of severe weather over the next